top of the day to you guys. This is Jeremy here. I'm Horsepower Hotshot. I haul exotic cars in my enclosed trailer setups all over the country. I shouldn't say that, primarily East Coast. And today I'm bringing a little bit of experience, a little bit of a tidbit from what I've learned in the last 4 or 5 years in the business. And I just thought I'd bring you to in a little installment I'd like to call now the driver's seat, coming from the driver's seat. So as you can see, I'm literally on the road right now. I just left the Meekum auto auction, dropping off a bunch of classic cars. And today I want to talk about the load board and how imperative it is to your livelihood and your business. So you're gonna catch some flack. You see people on the forums and Facebook groups and social media talking about how load board warriors never last and blah blah. But guys, if you're just starting out, you don't have a choice. Day one, you gotta go on the load board, you gotta find your business. That's just what it is. Now, I can only relate to enclosed car hauling, all right? I think there's a different demographic or a different customer for the open car and for freight. I don't have any experience hauling freight, but just watching other videos, I see that there's really not much loyalty in the world of brokers and transporters in the freight world. I think there's a little bit of that going on with the open car, but you're competing with those guys with the 8, 9, 10 car haulers who have the big contract stuff. So it's hard if you guys got a 2, 3 hauler and you're wanting to haul distance. I mean, you guys with the 5 cars have it figured out, I think. But so my experience with the load board stuff and everything I'm telling you is from a perspective of enclosed car hauling. What I have found is on day one, when you get on the load board, you will quickly, easily find loads. There's always loads going somewhere, paying good enough to keep you rolling and get you started. You're gonna find 70, 80, 90 cent minimum, the low ballers, to a buck $1.50 a mile per car, enclosed cars everywhere. And if you're just starting out with a 2-car hauler and a dually, non-CDL or you know, an F250 or whatever, you will be able to load that trailer quickly, go into a single destination, and come back to your home every week without question. No doubt. Worst times of the year, coronavirus, I don't care. You're gonna be able to put 2 cars going from my hometown, West Palm. Let's say you want to go to Cincinnati, you'll find 2 cars paying well enough, about double your cost per mile, and you'll be able to come home with that as well. So you have to get that business. You have to get started on the load board. So what I have found though, and why the load board is so imperative, is because it helps you establish your clients. What I have found, at least in the enclosed car hauling business, that the dealers that you show up to are much higher end dealers. They're not the CarMaxes and the, you know, there's maybe only 5 or 10 people running the show, or only 1 or 2 guys that control everything at these higher end car dealers. Or when you roll into like a huge box store, a Chevy, Ford, Dodge store, there's 300 employees there. There's 0 F's given for you, and you pull up and your equipment, they don't care. They're farming it out as cheap as possible to get the car out of there and get it to the new owner, and they don't care. They're not going to call you again. But when you go to these boutique style dealers, you're going to find that by showing up, your equipment looks clean, you have presence by calling and confirming times, and you show up when you say you're going to, and you deliver when you say you're going to, that customer will call you directly the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th time. And you would have never found that work if you just didn't go on the load board one day. Even if it's a cheap load, guys, take it if it's from a boutique dealer, because down the road, you will have continued phone calls from that customer. And if it's obviously one of those things where, yeah, you can always call, and if you're paying 80 cents, say, hey, I need $1 a mile, that dealer will be able to pump up for it. They'll come up for it, at least meet you halfway, and work with them, because I assure you, if you do a good job, you show up, it might have been a little cheaper this time, you'll be able to start setting your prices for the years to come, because you're going to be able to constantly receive their phone call directly. They're going to text you, hey Jeremy, I got 2 cars going to Meekum. Hey Jeremy, a client I'm doing right now, I have 7 cars needs to go to Meekum. No problem. That business is because I met them off the load board 3.5 years ago. So I cannot stress to you enough to go on the load board and just start hammering out. Start finding those loads, decent money. I mean, listen, the lowball guys are always going to be there. But if you can find the guy paying $80, $90 a mile, just get wheels rolling. If you can find a $1.60 plus a mile loads for a 2-car hauler, or $3.20 for a 4-car like I have, you're making money. You know, your cost per mile to run is going to be give or take $1 a mile. I mean, everybody's different. Every setup is different. But guys, if you're running at $1 a mile cost and you're making $2 a mile running, you're going to be okay. You're going to get cash flow positive for the first 6 months, and you're going to be able to get the wheels churning. You're going to be able to get a little bit of savings in the bank. You're going to do some upgrades to your truck, your trailer. You're going to be able to buy new equipment, straps, whatever, reinvest into yourself, and you're going to be able to build contacts, and you're going to get your list, your client list built up to where now you're all of a sudden not going to really need the load board, because you're going to have clients calling you all the time, consistent basis, asking 1, 2, 3 cars to go, to the point now where I can't handle it all. I had to add the second truck in the trailer because I can't be in 2 places at once. I have a guy who needs to go to Carter, Georgia. Well, I'm running all these cars to Meekum this week. I'm making more money going to Meekum. I'm going to be home every night than I would if I ever did a load to Atlanta and back. So I had to farm it out. I had to, like, you know, subcontract it out. So all because of the load board. So don't be scared to get on the phone. If you see a guy, you know, ABC dealer, and you click on it and it says boutique dealer or small exotic car dealer, that customer is A+ in my book, buddy. Even if they're only paying 60, 80 cents, 90 cents a mile, fill the trailer with it and show up and start selling yourself when you get there. Give them a business card. Tell them this is your direct phone number. Please and thank you them. Give them a great bill of lading with all the photos. I use Super Dispatch. It's super professional looking. Show up, Super Dispatch, all the photos. Contact them an hour before, an hour after. Be polite and do your job exactly how you would want it done. And those customers would call you repeatedly after the fact. Also have all your insurance and all of your company information loaded in Essential. So when you call these dealers, they can literally just pull you up and see, oh, okay, yeah, your insurance is loaded up here. Wow, you have 500 grand cargo, you have 100 grand, whatever it is. And you're already organized. You have everything ready to go. So they can just assign you the load like that. You're going to have nowcert.com. It's a whole other thing about having your insurance on tap in case you need to send it to somebody directly. But if you already have it on Central, that's the way to go. And get signed up with the other load boards. Cars.com, which is Montway, Assertus or Metrogistics, and Cars Deliver. Those are the ones I use. Central is going to be your go-to, but the other ones are nice little load fillers. You may find a car that you need coming back to home. You need to fill something. It's another 80 cents a mile, and you only have to go 10 miles to pick it up. So be it. The round off number, the number at the end of the day, $2 plus $3 a mile, that's the number you're looking at. If you have an empty spot, time is money. Put a car in the trailer at 75 cents and get down the road. You're not selling yourself short. Don't believe the dream that everyone's just, no one's gonna haul cars unless it's $1 a mile. I guarantee you the guy starting out is gonna call that guy at 75 cents a mile and take your load. Put it in the trailer. It's the law of averages. Build the relationships. Think about how down the road your 75 cents a mile load today could turn into 15 grand in revenue for you in 2021. The perfect example, and I'll end the video on this, is I picked up 2 bank contracts from the load board alone, hauling lease turnbacks for Aston Martin and McLaren. They go roughly $10 a mile they pay. It's short distances, 20, 40, and 60 mile runs, depending on what dealership they come out of. And they all go back to Manheim, Palm Beach. They give me about 2 a week, or 8 a month, if you will, at anywhere from $200, $400, or $600 a car. I got that off the load board. I just called off a 1 car, struck up a conversation with the broker guy who handles all of those Aston Martin, all of that entire contract for Aston Martin. I just struck up a conversation with the guy, showed him my equipment, and I show up on time, and I pick it up, and I drop it off, and I send him photos, I text him, hey Cole, this is up, bro, I drop off those 2 Astons for you. He looks like a hero because he's got a guy that shows up every time and does the job to run just 20, 40, or 60 miles from my house twice a week. It's a no-brainer, all from the load board. So don't be scared to make a phone call and get these people and strike up a conversation and tell them, hey, if you have any more, I'm in the area, I live local, I'm ready to do the business. Sell yourself. Do not be shy and sell yourself, and just do what you promise you say you're gonna do. That's the only key I have to tell you. That's a no-brainer in any business, but in this business, if you want that repeat customer, you're you're gonna be there at 9 a.m., you better be there at 9 a.m. And if you're gonna be dropping off at 6 p.m., you better be there dropping off at 6 p.m. Don't mess around with that, because the dealers, you're representing the dealer when you show up to this person's house to drop off that exotic car. And if you make that dealer look bad by being the jerk transporter who has excuses after excuses after excuses, they're not gonna call you back. That's just plain and simple. Now, once or twice, yeah, people, it's human nature. Something could happen, traffic, tire blowout, whatever. But don't be consistently not answering the phone and not making phone calls. You won't get that repeat business. So guys, Central Dispatch, start. Just get on the phone, get hammering out the business, take those loads, and sell the crap out of yourself. Strike about conversation. Become friends with these guys. They're all everybody's car guys. They all want to talk cars with you. When you get to the warehouse, what's up, Johnny? What's up, Jimmy? What's going on? High five, the whole 9 yards. Once you become in the inner circle with that dealership because you are a good guy, they know that you can trust you and they can rely on you, they'll continue to call you and you will get the business and you won't even need the load board anymore. So that's my tip of the day from the driver's seat. Use the load board to your advantage. Don't be scared to go on it. You will only be able to develop your current business and your future business by hammering out and selling yourself on the load board. That's it for today. From the driver's seat, this is Jeremy, Horsepower Hotshot. See you on the next one.